This is how we fix things.
One bung at a time. Oh, what? It worked!
Oh, hell. Whiskey Tribe showed up. Last week's video gave y'all a peek at the raw. It was an overwhelmingly magnificent response in the comments. All of your ideas pouring in, all of your support, but the loudest and clearest response to that video is that y'all think I need to
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come. Relax, don't do it when you wanna suck it to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come.
Just one problem though. The simple fact remains, there's a lot of work to do. Fortunately, there's been a plan, but before we even get into that plan, I need to get past a big problem I have with this community. That is a loaded topic, it's very complicated. I'm looking to see your thoughts and responses in the comments below whenever we get into that. But first, before anyone dives into a big challenge, especially a challenge that's gonna last a while, I think it's important to understand the why behind the challenge. Why are you throwing yourself into this thing in the first place? Because the why is going to carry you through those moments that inevitably come where you're like, man, this is hard, this is difficult. I'd much rather be doing 100 other things. Why am I doing this? And if you have a good answer, you can keep going until you reach the destination. For Crowded Barrel, not Whiskey Tribe, that's a different conversation, but for Crowded Barrel, my why is pretty simple. I see it as an experiment to defy a broken and rigged system. If we can make amazing whiskey, if we can succeed in an industry that has been so thoroughly captured by corporate interest and government regulations, if we can pull that off, that just gives me hope for the rest of the world. That people can still come together with a shared interest and make something beautiful without it being strangled quietly in the corner. Now, my why for Whiskey Tribe, that's very different and deeply personal. We'll get to that another day. But first, I want to talk about some other people that have our back. While we've been on a quest to get our electrical system upgraded, we've been relying on friends like Acapon Brewing down in Dripping Springs to scale up our brews so we can bring them in-house for distillation. They've won gold 2 years in a row at the Texas Craft Brewers Cup. Now, Crowded Barrel, there's a handful of things that have been short-circuited, made way more costly and time-consuming than they need to be, thanks to regulations, laws, and compliance issues. I think we need to bring back something that is very much at odds with the spirit of compliance. I think we need to bring back a pre-prohibition style beer that was made extinct or damn near extinct whenever prohibition kicked in. Kentucky Common, what do you know? What are we doing?
Kentucky Common is a pre-prohibition beer, so it was brewed before prohibition and really never after. Very unusual to see the beer around.
That's right, like a phoenix from the ashes, we're gonna bring back a beer that short-sighted regulations killed back in the day. Pre-prohibition Kentucky Common in Louisville, Kentucky, in that surrounding area. It was 80% of the beer that was consumed. This is a wildly popular brew. And it's one of the very, very few indigenous American beers, but it has roots in whiskey makers.
It does. It was a beer made by distillers using the same malted barley. We have corn. We're even gonna have a little rye.
Have you made this before?
No.
Oh.
I've always wanted to.
So it may not be good.
No, it'd be perfect.
Okay. What are we about to do here?
Mix the grain with hot liquor.
Hardly know her. This is a super old school recipe.
Right.
What did we have at our disposal here that they would not have had back in the day?
Well, a lot of things. They were heating it with fire. Yeah, they would do open fermentation. They didn't have the pumps like we have. And they typically had 1 or maybe 2 kettles. It was really, they were using the same process that they did to make whiskey. They were just fermenting it as beer and selling it as beer.
I'm curious.
I am too.
So today we have a lot of modern equipment. I feel a weird kinship with anyone that has to make do with less, but still deliver something really good and impressive. But I know Kyle and Pena, whenever they visit Acapon, they really enjoy using a fully functional brewing system.
Just mashed in, we're gonna let it rest for about an hour.
Good man. Wise beyond your years, Tom.
That's what I do.
You got a dusty ass, though.
I do have a dusty ass.
Dave, did you just start a timer on your watch?
Yes, timer for the mash.
Okay, so what is the cutting edge of brewing technology? What did you set your timer on?
This is a broken, but it's still, the timer still works. It's a Samsung Galaxy, some kind of watch, I don't know.
The bleeding edge of brewer technology.
1 hour, because remember enzymes? We talked about enzymes a long time ago.
Amylase and beta amylase.
Yeah.
We got a grainy, sugary water that is ready for the yeast. Come here, come look at this. Granola graininess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the sugary simple syrup water mixed in there.
Yeah, pretty much. It'll be about this color, maybe a little bit lighter.
It's crazy that just milling the grains and adding water is going to give you that much sugar. Hey guys, this is like how hippies get diabetes, right?
This episode is sponsored by Fume.
All right. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that helps you replace bad habits.
Fume is not a vape.
There's no batteries, no tobacco.
There's no smoke, no vapor.
It's flavoring the air. It's just the air passing over these different flavored cores. My go-to for many, many months now has been the orange vanilla.
I also like the crisp mint, but we are out of that flavor. But we do have spearmint.
I'm going raspberry lemon.
It's very yummy.
Oh yeah, I can tell you've been in here. Ooh,
Yep.
That is good.
You can kill hours with this thing.
They gave it a really nice weight. You're basically going to turn this and it's going to change the airflow.
You can not only hear the clicks, but you can feel them.
That's the level of detail they put into this. So the Fume topper,
What?
I put this on here.
Wait,
And
you put yours on?
I did put it on there. I was using it all week.
What the hell?
And now you don't have to just hold it with your hand and then take it away. You can just leave it in your mouth, sucking
did
down
you get
that
that?
sweet, sweet fume. It's a nice accessory. You're gonna want it.
Try fume.com/whiskeytribe and use code whiskeytribe at checkout.
For a limited time, you can use code whiskeytribe or scan the QR code on screen.
TRY fume.com/whiskeytribe.
Between the two words, why would you spell out try?
Oh wait, you're right.
And not the one that's tricky. Fume.com/whiskeytribe. You're gonna get that free Fume topper whenever you order the Journey Pack today. Now, in recent years, Kentucky Common has seen a revival amongst the craft brewing community, but outside of that, this is an unheard of, weird, obscure footnote. This staple was killed off in Kentucky and the surrounding areas, along with a lot of other regional beer styles. And post-prohibition, what came back were the mass-produced lagers. It's clear that the super complicated laws end up messing up way more things than they help solve. But our position on that isn't just short-sighted frustration. Whenever it comes to creating a controlled substance like alcohol, smart regulation can be a good thing. For example, the Bottled and Bond Act. In the late 1800s, there were a lot of whiskey makers out there that were putting stuff in the bottle that was not really whiskey. They would dilute it, weird chemicals and flavors, and they would release it. It was really a super sketchy situation. So the government stepped in and says, you know what, we're gonna create a set of standards. It's gonna be called Bottled and Bond. And to be recognized as a Bottled and Bond release, it's gonna be a minimum of 4 years old. It's gonna be bottled at precisely 100 proof. It's gonna be made by a single distiller, aged in a bonded warehouse, and it's only gonna use the spirit distilled in a single distillation season. Crowded Barrel, we actually have our first Bottled and Bond release. This is distilled by Gulf Coast here in Texas. This is our very first Eleanor Bottled and Bond, and it's that Eleanor mash bill, that classic bourbon mash bill of 75% corn, 21 rye, 4% malted barley, linked in the description down below if you want our very first Bottled and Bond release. Also at that link, there's going to be tasting notes on the page if you want to know how this turned out.
That's the yeast that we pulled off a previous batch of beer that we're going to use to ferment this beer.
I noticed that you have 2 good hands, Dave. And yet you're making this gentleman do all the work.
I'm talking. He likes it. Look at it's doing fine. He's doing fine. Methylene violet to stain the cells. You'll see when we put it under the microscope.
And is it happening on this screen here? So the reason why we want these to be white, not purple, because you stained it purple, but if it's white, it means it's divided.
It's alive.
Okay.
Purple ones are dead. Like right there are 2 that look like they're joining together.
Yeah.
Those are budding cells, so those are actively reproducing. So we want to know that we have an adequate, healthy pitch. We're at 72% viability, which is a little low,
Yeah.
but we can overcome that by pitching more yeast.
So this is what they did not have pre-prohibition.
It is exactly what they did not have. And it tells us we need 1.73 gallons, or basically 14 pounds.
Do you miss the guesswork, or is it much more satisfying to just know exactly what you need to do every time?
I don't miss the guesswork.
Yeah, romance is one thing, but good beer is better.
I 100% agree with that.
You want romance, you want good beer. What are we doing? We need to get back to making some damn near extinct American brew. Bastards Ball coming up October 12th. All the Magnificent Bastards of Patreon that reserved tickets.
You'll be the first to try this beer.
Do I get a little sample before?
Maybe.
That sounded like a weird definitely.
You have to ask Kyle.
The ultimate hard ass. Look at him. Hey, remember that time when Kyle booby-trapped the bottle just to fuck with me? Yeah, that was cool. It's a workhorse beer, I get it. Let's get into my problem with this community, this personal hang-up that I definitely need to figure an angle around. I have a problem with rejecting generous people. I don't know how to open up the challenges, the responsibilities, the opportunities that we have to our community, to the crowd, to the tribe. I don't know how to bring people into that, and then if it's not up to the standards our community needs, I don't know how to turn around and say, not good enough. Now, if somebody works for me, if you're on payroll, and everybody here knows this, if this is your job, and you're getting compensated, and something's not good enough, I have zero problem saying, no, go back, change that, and that, then we'll talk again. But with the crowdsourced model, the name of the game is quality control. It's like, hey, I need somebody to research this and I need a label design for that. A team of people in this part of the country to go to this distillery and sample these single barrels and choose a single barrel on our behalf. The only way it works, the only way that you win awards, the only way that you make stuff that people want to buy and they want to buy it again is whenever you maintain a level of quality control. There's standards. This is the opportunity for us to leverage what I think is our greatest asset, you guys. Logistically, what are the mechanics of doing that gracefully? How do we handle somebody that comes from a generous, pure, giving place? They work on something, they present it, but it's not good enough. So put yourself in their shoes. I struggle to imagine something so deflating where you spend hours and hours working on a thing, and then they say, nah. That's devastating. Like, you're a fan of the thing. You put in your time and your energy and your effort as generosity, and they just outright said, nah, no, that's horseshit. That sucks. I have a problem with rejecting generous people. But in the comments, let me know, how should we handle that whenever we are getting volunteers, contributions, generous acts? And there's inevitably going to be some situations where it's not good enough, it's not up to our standards. So while you give me answers to impossible problems in the comments, it's good to have friends, but friendship, that goes both ways. So Dave's dropping by. We're going to do him a solid. Yo. How we doing?
Good.
All right, what do we got, Kyle?
Got some Gulf Coast. And Dave will take the barrel.
Gotta do a little barrel-aged beer, huh?
Yeah, our annual Imperial Stout.
Oh, nice.
Hans Trump. So it'll sit in the barrel for 3 or 4 months. Perfect winter beer. It'll be about 10.5%.
So what kind of effect are you looking to get out of the beer going into this barrel?
We'll get some of the whiskey flavor, but also we pull the beer pulls flavors from the barrel. You never really know what's going to happen.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of single barrel variation in whiskey. Do you find much variation whenever you put the same kind of beer in the same kind of barrel?
We do this every year and it's different.
A little bit of peanut brittle, vanilla, a little bit more sweet caramel over the vanilla, but tastes more like vanilla.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah. You think it'll go well with your beer?
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the highest I've seen out of the Gulf Coast.
It's a spicy boy.
I don't know how sloppy you want this barrel, Dave, but it's gonna pack a punch. What's going on, Dave?
I gotta go.
Oh no, damn it.
I had to hit it.
I was gonna put you on YouTube for not being able to start your truck. The last second it starts up.